And men usually don't feel like, yeah, I'm not supposed to show my emotions, I'm not supposed to go to therapy. No, I'm big on my talk about this and deal with it to that. What's the reason? What's the reason? Tell us. Welcome back to season 3 of It Is What It Is JA. We'll be discussing PTSD in relationships on episode 2. We are sponsored by Boss Destination, Irie Beanz Coffee, Karmen's Kollection, Ultra Petroleum, and the Bunny Striker Lee Museum. And today we'll be discussing PTSD in relationships. And today I have with me Joylene, Enterprise Account Executive. Say hi to the people.
Hi.
And we have, you don't know, Darrow G, social media influencer. I know you guys know him. So we're going to get into it, guys. PTSD, is post-traumatic stress disorder. When you've encountered something traumatic from a situation, a relationship, whatever, you name it, just know it's trauma that has caused this. So I want to jump right into people having PTSD from actual relationships. Do you think, let me start with Joylene, do you think that, experiencing some trauma from a relationship can cause you to not want to enter into another relationship?
Of course. I'm a big believer in, when you experience traumatic anything, you take the time to step away from relationships, friendships, and just heal. I think the whole PTSD situation is people not really acknowledging like how they feel. Right. Instead, they internalize all of that, and it just keeps playing back and forth. And so it creates this, depressing mentality, and them just end up constantly traumatized, triggered, everything. Because they're not dealing with it.
Right. So, Darrow, what's your take?
Well, first of all, you know what they always say, hurt people.
Hurt people.
Mm-hmm. And so the thing is, PTSD is real, right? What I want to be in regards to relationships or not, a lot of people are really going through some stuff.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of unhealthy relationships going on right now. So
true.
The topic is real and it is very serious.
Yeah.
I think it's something that people should really address and talk about.
Yeah.
Right? And be
honest with themselves.
Yeah. Understand? Because generally speaking, I think we as humans, we are big liars.
Yeah.
We are. I think we're big liars.
Mm-hmm.
And the big problem is that we lie to ourselves.
We lie to ourselves.
Right? We lie to ourselves a lot. So sometimes we need to take a step back, assess the situation, ask yourself, which problem go wrong? How we can fix it?
Yeah.
What's the bigger problem?
Yeah.
How can that be resolved? And then things will get better after that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's all about holding yourself accountable, because whereas someone else in the relationship can be, not helping the relationship to go in a healthy way, but you can stop and say, okay, either I can try to have a conversation with my person and say, can we move forward in a healthy way? Or you make that decision for yourself and say, boy, we're just not working because we're probably two negatives, and it just, it's for whatever reason, it's not working. And sometimes PTSD we're carrying from other relationships. So you're carrying whatever past trauma you have with somebody else into a relationship and projecting it. So you have literally from one extreme to the next. Either you literally have such bad trauma that you don't want to even enter into another relationship at all. I know lots of people like that they've been married, them say, no, I'm done. Like, you'll never get me to get married again. You'll never get me to, like, I don't even know if I want a real relationship because they've been hurt so badly. And then you're like, but why don't you stop and try to heal and then see, because I think that that's coming from a hurt place. If you said, listen, I'd rather just be alone, not saying nothing is wrong with being alone, but to me, it's like you have literally taken this trauma to a point that you just, yeah, I'm done. And then there are other people who, they're still hurt. And as you say, them going to another relationship because they're thinking, I'm healed, I'm better. And then the hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
You know? So
I think a big part of it is like, first we have to set a standard. I think the standard is the floor of what we'll accept from anyone. And then, you know, telling that person, communication is the foundation of any relationship.
right.
And I feel like people aren't doing that. I think that in this social media era, we're taking posts and reels about from different people, different perspectives on relationships, and we're internalizing that because we don't have a compass. And so there are people out there that don't have that ethical standard. They don't really, they know what they want. No, they don't know what they want, but they want to be valued. And that desire for that validation is what lead them into these traumatic relationships. And they accept the dysfunction because the man has said, oh, baby, you look good. Oh, see, whatever, here, go do your nails or whatever. They feel like that is validation. And so they will accept whatever they're given. And yeah.
All right. So for me personally, all right. So one important point that you brought up, communication. Communication goes such a far way in any aspect of life. As it relates to PTSD and healing from hurt and trauma, I think with age and over time, regardless if you're healed from something, the moment a situation presents itself that is slightly resembling to what was back then, you go right back. So you can be healed and still go through PTSD.
Yeah.
Because if, for example, you are my ex, right? You do all these things what I never like, and this and that, and we had a mad breakup, and then we said we're done. Couple years past now, I meet her.
Yeah.
And she starts to portray some personality traits that you had. I say, boy, I'm gonna get myself into this again. You understand?
Yeah.
But as it relates to communication, people have to talk. People have to understand each other. You have to know the person that you're with. You have to know their love language.
Getting
right
back to that.
You have to ask questions. You have to appeal to each other in the way that how the person would want it. You understand? Because if, like you said, maybe the man just say, "Oh, baby, look good. I want to do this." Suppose receiving gifts is not her love language.
You're right.
Suppose it's more quality time.
Right.
Words of affirmation, stuff like that. So you have to know how to appeal to the person, right? You have to communicate. You have to find out what's wrong. If there are doubts, you have to communicate those as well. And also reassurance is very
important. I want to touch on the point where you said, you know, something could trigger you. Basically, you could be healed, but something trigger you. But to me, healing is dealing with those triggers as well, because there are ways to find healthy responses to triggers. I know we're all human and nobody's saying anybody's perfect and you will never be triggered. But there are healthy ways to deal with something that you know, this is something that it really, really bug you about the ex-girlfriend. But the new girlfriend probably did it not even realizing, you know, for whatever reason, maybe you did have that conversation with her, but for whatever reason, she did not feel that it triggered her. So as you said, communication is key. So if it is something that triggered you and, you know, you take a walk and you say, all right, I'm going to breeze out, and you come back and you say, babes, you know, say,
all right.
Yeah, you did talk.
First things first.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
First things first. And if others I'd say, I think I can say that men deal with triggers different from women. Right? So let me give you an example. Me in a car, right? I'm driving. You're over there. You're over here, and then a message comes in on your phone. You lift up your phone. No, hold on. You lift up your phone. Look at me carefully now. You lift up your phone and you do this. A slight shift to the left. That's a big red flag. You know? I want to know that. You know that's a big red flag?
I agree with you. I've seen it. It's happened to me. And this is like a sugar.
That's a big red flag, bro.
I will say,
You don't want a person to see what's on your phone.
It's once you do this and a slight shift to the left, that's a red flag. All right, so for a man, that can be a trigger.
Right.
You have someone who can't control them emotions.
men do it, Tina.
No, I'm not saying that men don't do it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I'm like,
I did not say that. I did not say that. But the thing is, men deal with emotions different. You have someone who can't control their emotions. Some men do, right? So a man can be triggered, but at the same time, he won't react. Him just a watcher. You understand? To see how it play out. Or
that's a healthy reaction, though.
Continuous thing.
It's healthy, but you could still also address it rather than you go and watch because you wait people build up now. So when your breaking point reach and you say, you did do this 100 times. And then you're like, so why you never mentioned it before if it was bothering you? Because that is what my reaction is going to be. I'm going to say to you, well, honey, why did you? No. I'm going to say, and this is what I always say. I say, if you have a problem, bring it up right now so we can deal with it right now. Why you go wait till 4 years pass and you bring up something from 10 years ago?
But I think before it even get to that point, there is distrust.
Exactly.
So it's not even say, okay, she shift the phone or something like that, but something else happened where the distrust started, and it should have been dealt with calmly. So if you have a transparent relationship and you're dealing with things, as they come along, the phone shift probably won't have that weight.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you think then, guys, can you or would you be open and honest, meaning individually just asking, would you be open and honest with your past trauma with your new partner? Or would you keep it for a while just to see what the situation is and then depending on, I guess the level of where the relationship is going, then you share it? Or do you feel like you just should tell them off the bat, like, listen, this is what I've been through. And if this is what you're on, like, don't bother come here.
So I think that once, two people realize that, okay, this is where we would like to go, like you have to come to an agreement. This is where you want to go. I think relationships are all about alignment. It's not just you like me, you look good, we look good together, take some Instagram pictures, go with that. It's really about alignment. And I think a big part of aligning is communicating the negative things. You have to unmask. And I think a lot of people have a problem with unmasking. Because one, they either don't even realize that they're wearing a mask, or they're ashamed of taking it off. Because to do that, it requires a lot of vulnerability. And of course, if you've been through a deceptive relationship, you are accustomed to dysfunction, you're not going to want to just lay all your eggs down and say, okay, this is who I am. Here it is. So I think they would really need to come to terms with themselves and understand that if this is where you want to go, this is how you have to do it. Be vulnerable, be transparent. If that person stays, then okay, good. You know that, okay, you can be transparent with them. You can tell them all of these things, can lay down the negative, and come together and work through it. So I think yes, it can happen. It's just that you have to be transparent with yourself first and then with the other person.
Darrow?
Yeah, I totally agree with her. But at the same time, it's like like you have to think about, do I want to tell this person what I've been through and I'm not sure of our future?
Right.
Right. So it's like you had kind of hold back a little in the initial stages to get a better feel of the person, their intentions, what they're about, if them too chatty. You see, because at the end of the day, I really want everybody to know my business.
Right.
And if it's like I'm dating you and it doesn't work out, and I'm dating her, it doesn't work out, I'm dating someone else, it doesn't work out, is that 3 people know my charm?
Right.
I mean, that's, you're not going to just go in depth in like the dating stage where you're like, oh yeah, this. All right, you're going.
That's what I mean. It's like, so I'd have to sit it out and see what's going on at first to see if I want to dive into all of that with the person. But ultimately, I think it's important to discuss the trauma that you've been through, because one thing I notice as well is that people generally, when they're in a relationship, they feed off each other's energy.
Yes.
Right? So if I'm in a relationship with my partner and in my mind, everything is good, we're great, everything's all right. We're doing what we should be doing. And then out of nowhere, she seems sad. And I'm asking, babe, what's going on? You all right? I'm good.
No,
You're not good.
You're not good.
You're not good.
Yeah.
And if you're not good,
Right.
we're not good. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you're not tired.
Right.
You see me? So it's important to communicate.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's a partnership. Y'all are in this together. You should be working things out together. If it's bigger than both of you, then I guess you can talk about a therapist,
Right.
stuff like that. But anything to help overcome those issues.
But then you have the men that don't believe in therapy. So yeah, so there's a lot of men walking around. I'm not saying that there are not women walking around with PTSD, but there's a lot of men walking around with a lot of trauma and traumatizing a lot of these people's girl picnic.
Because they don't recognize it as trauma.
Right. And you know, and men usually don't feel like, yeah, I'm not supposed to show my emotions. I'm not supposed to go to therapy. No, I'm big on my top
But
and
there's
I
a
deal with it to
reason for
that.
that.
What's the reason?
There's a reason.
What's the reason? Tell us from your perspective.
Well, on the man, first things first, me not believe in a therapist neither.
See that? You see my
But he brought it up. But he's the one who said you can go to therapy. So you're gonna say, oh, it's going to therapy, but no longer to therapy.
You can need some help.
Well, no, me and you in a relationship, but me and you having an issue. Me and you having an issue. No, come on, Darrow. I'm asking. Me and you having an issue now, and I said, babes, come. We have to go to therapy because I feel like we cannot work it out ourselves. It's not just us.
All right. So
what's gonna happen?
Hear me answer that, man. So I don't believe in a therapist, but I just believe a man should talk. But at the same time,
So we are talking.
Men don't really like talk.
You gotta talk to your friend them when not getting the right advice.
We don't really like talk.
Yeah, look at the girl, man.
Sometimes we don't really like
next
talk.
girl over there, son.
Because,
Man.
number one, many times women use the same information against
And men
us.
do that too.
Many
Men do
times
that
women
too.
use the same
And
information
men do that
against us.
too.
And sometimes when we do talk to Uno, it's like it
You don't do the woman. Don't uno me. Don't uno me.
or it's a
I'm
sign,
not a Uno.
or it's a sign of
I
weakness,
am not a
or
uno.
stuff like
I
that.
rebuke it.
It's like when the woman say, the man if hold up them stress.
No, sometimes.
That's all them.
I don't believe that. It was one girl that is not emotionally intelligent. I don't know how she ended up there. But no.
Yo,
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
I know, say funny enough, when she said it, I saw some truth in what she was saying. Her delivery was awful, but I saw a lot of truth in what she was saying.
Wow.
Maybe if her delivery was different, many more women would agree with what she was saying.
That man must stand up in them stress. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna believe that. I feel like, listen, everybody deals with things differently. And at the end of the day, we should all be able to lean on someone.
I think
Because
so too.
we're all going through stuff, right? And I don't
so
feel like because you're a man, you're supposed to be so macho. You're not supposed to be able to talk to your woman and tell her what is going on. You're supposed to know who your woman is. And if your woman is a strong woman that have emotional intelligence that can be there for you and back here and say, yo, babes, all right, make us see what we can do for, make this thing better.
Generally speaking, that's how a relationship should be. But
Right.
I think the problem is a lot of times is that, especially as I go back to the whole of the stress thing,
Mm-hmm.
some people express themselves to other people who don't deserve that.
Agreed.
You understand?
Agreed. 100% agree with
It's
you.
like, imagine you go into somebody who you say is
like you have to know your
intellectually
circle.
challenging.
You
You
have to
just
know your
challenge, you
circle.
understand, and express
As
yourself
you
into
said,
that
people
to them.
are also very good at hiding them true selves. So yes, you may know your circle. You think you know your circle.
It goes back to with a partner, unmasking, being vulnerable.
I agree.
But you don't do that until you know who you're dealing with.
Right.
Sometimes I think,
Sometimes you think you know, that's what I'm saying. There are people who have literally have been lied to all 10 years or 30 years and with somebody and you're like, who are you?
Sometimes
This is somebody completely different. Because sometimes when you're loving it, that love is blind quote is a real thing.
and when you think about it, everything that we do is literally a gamble.
Literally.
It's literally a
'Cause the only person you can swear by is yourself, You only know what you do and you only know what you're capable of. You cannot say, no, I'm gonna never do that. No, I
At
would
the
never
same
do
time,
that.
we lie to
And
ourselves.
we lie to ourselves too.
It's all a gamble.
It's all a gamble. But so on that note, do we think after going through all the traumas, you can actually find true love?
We can.
Yeah?
can.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, guys, we got a little deep. But now we know that Darrow not like therapy. So,
Like all of them stress.
him like all of him stressed like the woman step on the on social media, it's just like all of your stress, right?
Let me clarify, because we feel like we have this perception that I'm thinking that men should hold up their stress. That's not what I was saying. I was saying there's some truth in what she's saying. Now, she is saying that men should hold up their stress. I think that a lot of women really do think that way.
That man must hold up their stress.
Men should hold up their stress. That's what I was saying.
Well, thank you for the clarity. And on behalf of me and Joylene, we not feel like man for all of them stress, right? Okay, so we are not.
Thank you.
Yeah, let us just also get clarity all around. So now that we got clarity, guys, on that, thank you for coming. This was, a topic that I feel like was really important because a lot of people are suffering from PTSD in relationships and not talking about it. And as I've said in every episode and almost every season, which now we're season 3, communication is key and is very important, right? And guys, that topic was about PTSD in relationships. So stay tuned and make sure to follow us on Itiswhatitisja on Instagram and to subscribe, like, share, and comment on Itiswhatitisja on YouTube. I'm your host, Blair Milan, and I was styled by Karmen's Kollection.